And you have some information about a potential vaccine in the works.
Well, there's some good news coming up actually from Oxford, and this is a new development in the world of vaccine. They have basically taken 6 monkeys in the lab and they have injected some vaccine for them, and then they load them up with a big amount of coronavirus, and they realize that 29 days after that, they not only stayed healthy, the virus didn't get to their system. And this is very good news. Now, part of the problem is you've heard a lot of doctors on the media have talked about the fact that this vaccine may not be around for another year or so. And part of the reason, Greg, is because this is a very complicated business, because the vaccine, number one, has to be very safe. It has to be very effective and has longer protective period. And that's why it's taking some time. But the good news is that if this goes through the clinical trial for 6,000 people, that's what they're designing, by September, not too long from now, we may have our first vaccine for coronavirus, and it's a big news.
That's interesting. But you know what I mean? The doctors mentioned that in that YouTube video I've been probably talking about too much, that people don't want to take the flu virus right now, the flu vaccine now, the one that we've had, the one that works. Although, quite frankly, I know people I respect sometimes have doubts about it, and, you know, I respect. But just because we get the vaccine doesn't mean we're home free, does it?
That's so true, because there's always going to be some skepticism about the vaccine. And the reason is because sometimes these vaccines are made out of weakened live virus, and they're afraid that actually it made them much sicker. There's some other vaccines that are used by dead virus, which may or may not be safer. And then there's some bioengineer type of vaccine. So there's a lot in the pipeline. But I think given the fact that we have flu coming in and also coronavirus may or may not come back for the second wave, it's very important to at least get your flu vaccine and make sure that we are not going to have 2 waves of epidemic coming at the same time in the fall. That's very important.
Stand by.